Well, hello you wonderful mother truckers you, and welcome to a rainy UK. Surprise, surprise, climate emergencies all of a sudden disappeared. After the whole of the summer, them screaming about the fact that we're overcooking and it's the end of the world as you know it because climate emergency and global warming, blah, blah, blah. The second it starts raining, it's gone. It's funny that, isn't it? As you know, when I was away, we had showery weather, and now we're into even more showery weather, but it's heavier rain. So there won't be a climate emergency now. Well, until there's a flood. Then when there's a flood, there'll be a climate emergency because it's the climate change causing the floods, which of course it isn't. It's the fact that councils don't clear drains, and because we've got a housing shortage, the best place allegedly for all these people to build new houses is on floodplains, which yeah, you see the clue's in the title, isn't it? Floodplain. It floods when it rains. Any case, that isn't the point of the video today, which the title probably would have given it away, but you know me, I do like to keep you up to date on other things in the UK, including the weather. The old point of the video today is, of course, the hot button topic. Angela Rayner, the ginger growler herself, the ginger ninja, the woman who had ideas and thoughts of becoming Prime Minister, who's now spectacularly shot herself in the foot. But then again, it's going to happen to them all in the end, because when you've got a bunch of corrupt arseholes who are only in it for themselves, eventually you're going to get burnt. Now, I did a video, mentioned it yesterday, which was part of what could only be described as a meltdown day for Labour yesterday. Late last night, the news broke, should I say, that she'd used some of her son's compensation money from the NHS to help fund the house that she bought and dodge tax. Now, Mrs. G did ask a simple question, which was, well, if she's worth so much money, how come she did that? And we all know it's because it's yet another form of a tax dodge. Because one of the first group of people that you collect as a politician is creative accountants, shall we say. People who specialise in finding new and weird and wonderful ways so you don't have to pay tax. This is one of the reasons why politicians, etc., get very, very rich very, very quickly, is because they find new ways of not paying the tax that they'll scream, shout, take you to court and put you in prison if you don't do the same. Funny that, isn't it? Yeah. Any case, so after weaponising her own children to try and garner some form of sympathy from people, and of course Beth Rigby from Sky News, which I've watched the interview, you know, where bollocks, yeah. Beth Rigby and on Sky News literally, basically, probably went and scissored her straight after that because it was like a loving. Now, this is the same Beth Rigby who will viscerate right-wing people, but left-wing people like Angela, oh well, she loves her to bits. I mean, it was literally more like a loving than anything else. I mean, it explains why Sky News is collapsing. You cannot have a politician in the situation that Angela Rayner in and be so soft. It's painfully obvious you really do want to scissor her afterwards. Probably did happen as well. There's an image that's burnt into the back of my retinas that I never will get rid of. It's my own fault, I guess. Any case, how anyone now can defend that person who is basically, and I said it yesterday to Mrs. G, she went, oh, but it's true, she's a scutter. Now, I know many people have their first child when they're 16, and in my opinion, that makes you a scutter. If you are that way inclined, it is what it is. Now, I know that's going to really upset some people, but remember, as with everything else in these videos, that's my humble opinion. Anyone who has a child at the age of 16, you really need to have given your head a wobble, but that's beside the point. But this woman has allegedly come from nothing, was on benefits, and now is worth millions of pounds. Like all of them, actually, are all worth millions of pounds. They only get paid, what is it, £96,000 a year, yet somehow they live a lifestyle 5 times higher than that. Well, I mean, I guess if you haven't got to pay any energy bills, because of course you get the taxpayer to pay for that, and you can claim pretty much anything you want on expenses and get the taxpayer to pay for that, and you get a salary which the taxpayer pays for that. Oh, and you get to vote on your own pay rises that the taxpayer's got to fund. It's amazing, isn't it? But they all are worth millions, absolute millions. For her to be able to, I mean, who owns 3 properties in from one job? I've come to the conclusion that I'm in the wrong business. But the problem is I'm in the wrong business because I don't have the skill set required to become an MP. You see, as far as I can ascertain, to become a successful MP, you have to be completely and utterly brain dead, have no morals whatsoever, and only care about yourself. Be the most narcissistic dickhead known to man. That makes you a successful politician. If you go throughout history now, going back, 70s, in fact, probably go back to the 50s, 60s, when politicians realised that they could get into power and just make themselves incredibly rich on the shoulders of everybody else. And see, I'm not counting the war ones. You see, because the war ones actually were fighting for the survival of our country. Although now you question why they didn't just fucking give up and let the Nazis win, because we'd be in no better position now. So, she is like them all. Now, Angela Rayner, like all of them in the Labour Party, know that they are a one-shot deal. These 5 years, if it goes to 5 years, are it. That, of course, is unless they do what I've been saying for a long time, which is just cancel the election. And I already have a way that they can do that, quite legally, actually. And it plays into what's happening now, but that's for another video. At the moment, we're talking about the Ginger Ninja, the Scutter herself. And you see, I would have sympathy for people. And I always have sympathy because, like most people, even though we try not to be, we are decent human beings, and we will genuinely feel sorry for somebody if they deserve it. But the problem is, of course, she doesn't. She attacked so many people and didn't give a shit about their families and their anything, because she had to make her point. I can't have sympathy. I cannot have sympathy for somebody who has such utter disdain for the people she gets paid by. That's her wages, of course. Let's not, as George Galloway said. Now, some people are like, "Whoa, you gobster. What are you doing?" Talking about George Galloway. You see, the thing is, with George Galloway, I think he's a massive cock. I really do, but that's because of his support for Palestine and things like that. But I'm also a human being, and a grown-ass adult. And when somebody says something that I agree with, even if the vast majority of their philosophy I don't agree with, I will say, I agree with that, and I'm stunned that I do. But he turned around and he said, she's supermarket sweep Rayner. And it's true, but they're all the same. They are playing supermarket sweep. They know that this is it. So they are going to grab as much money as they can, because they want to make sure that they're rich for the rest of their lives. I mean, look at Tony Blair. Tony Blair is super rich and continues to be super rich, and continues to push his digital IDs. But again, that's for another video. It is now, I think, just a matter of time before Angela Rayner either gets sacked or resigns. So the question is, will she jump or will she be pushed? Now, for Angela, this is a major fuck-up, isn't it? Let's be honest, because she wanted to become Prime Minister. And she shot herself in the foot. Now, we all know, and if you pay attention, that she's been positioning herself to take over. So one has to wonder where the information got leaked from. You see, politics is a very dirty game. And Mr. Starmer will be fully aware that Ms. Rayner has her eyes on his job. So all of a sudden, the information gets leaked quite quickly. It's almost as if somebody saw the opportunity to get rid of a rival. Remembering this is the same Angela Rayner who wants to bring in a rule that no serving mayor of any town can become an MP, because her direct threat to the Prime Ministership is Andy Burnham or Sadiq Khan. You see, so she manoeuvres herself to eliminate her enemies, but in the process makes a mistake. And now all of a sudden, somebody wants to get rid of her because they're her enemy. I mean, you know, you've got Keir Starmer, you've got Andy Burnham, you've got Sadiq Khan. She has made many enemies, and they now see the opportunity. I mean, the way the story has just exploded. I mean, 1 minute there's a court order, then there's not. 1 minute, no one, everybody's heard of it, but it's all hushed up, and now all of a sudden it's come out. And I do honestly believe that this is also partially political manoeuvring, that people see Rayner as a threat and have now got the opportunity to get rid of her. So, will she be pushed or will she jump? I mean, apparently she considered resigning. She didn't consider shit. You see, while I bring this video to a close, the only reason you're getting what you're getting, the only reason you got the loving interview with Sly News and Beth Rigby is because she got caught. Because she thought she'd get away with this. Now, she's gone through the independent ministry review, this, that, and the other. They will just find her not guilty of any wrongdoing, because that's what they always do. They never, ever, and even if they do go, well, yeah, they don't actually do anything. The person hasn't got to go anywhere or do anything. Okay? It's a bullshit thing. It's an exercise in futility. But the damage has been done. And when she did that, and you have to pay attention to this, and this is why I think it's a political manoeuvring as well. She got caught. She admitted she got caught. I'm going to the standards thing. Okay? Then, not long, I think if I work it out roughly, it was about 2 hours after that, the story broke that she used her son's trust fund compensation from the NHS to pay for the flat, thus sticking the knife in a bit further. You can see it's political. She fucked up. She thought she'd get away with it. She thought her friends would cover for her, and they're not. Because this is what the left do most spectacularly. They eat each other. When they get the opportunity, they eat each other. And I think it's quite frightening, interesting, and satisfying, all in one go. You can see now how politics work quite easily. So Ms. Rayner, it's tick-tock, tick-tock, isn't it? I mean, if she does manage to somehow survive this, she'll never be able to be PM again. So she's just destroyed that chance. So it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next week or so, I would say. But the pressure's going to keep piling on her. And I think, as I've said, as I bring it to a close, that there are more powerful people who want her gone. Any case, enough of that. The rain's eased off a bit. Darn that global warming. Although it is nice to see the grass coming back to green instead of straw yellow. That also means I've got to start cutting it again. Ugh. Swings and roundabouts. Any case, ways to support the channel down below, and I'll catch you in the next one.
You said to me that you can't stand the well.